New tensions arose between Afghanistan and Pakistan today, right? When the Taliban accused Pakistani forces of a bombing attack in Khost province that killed 10 people. As you may recall, dozens of people were killed in airstrikes and ground clashes between the two neighbors last month, right? And it was the deadliest confrontation since the Taliban returned to power in Kabul in 2021. But can we compare the two armed forces? Who has more firepower? Well, the Pakistani armed forces benefit from strong recruitment and retention, right? And are also reinforced by equipment from their main defense partner, China. And Islamabad continues to invest in its military nuclear programs and is also modernizing its Navy and Air Force, okay? Now, the capacity of the Afghan Taliban armed forces is in decline, right? With a drop in their ability to use foreign equipment that the group seized when it returned to power in the country. Pakistan has 660,000 active military personnel in its defense forces, of which 560,000 are in the Army, 70,000 in the Air Force, and 30,000 in the Navy. The Afghan Taliban military force is much smaller, right? With only 172,000 active soldiers. However, the group has announced plans to expand its armed forces to 200,000 members. Now, in terms of combat vehicles and artillery, Pakistan has over 6,000 armored combat vehicles and more than 4,600 pieces of artillery. The Afghan forces also have armored combat vehicles, including Soviet-era main battle tanks, armored personnel carriers, and unmanned underwater vehicles. Yeah, but their exact number is unknown, right? Pakistan has a fleet of 465 combat aircraft and more than 260 helicopters, including multi-role attack and transport helicopters. Afghanistan, on the other hand, has no fighter jets and no real air force to speak of, right? What is known is that it has around 6 aircraft, some dating back to the Soviet era, and 23 helicopters. Although it's not possible to assess how many are actually flight-ready, okay?